I own these guys in a debate. They refuse to debate me now. Please just, watch this stuff. And then if you still feel the same way, come back and debate
me. And what do they say?
I either hear... 90% of the time, I get a very short and curt email back a few days later. Geez, I didn't know any of this was going on. Thanks for the information. Sorry about the email. Or I just get nothing.
What's going on, Paul?
He's asking me what I would say back to them. I don't answer them.
Okay, well, listen. Let's go ahead and go back to... Yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to the fashion consultant, Glenn Beck. Here he is.
Because of popular mechanics, except Rosie O'Donnell. James is here now to do the same with the FEMA camps. Okay, let's just start with the easy stuff here. There are, and just want to collapse this as quickly as possible. There are things that, yes, FEMA has a right to have camps, and they could do things to help people. And if you wanted to go down the crazy...
hold on. I've always said... They're going to, FEMA has a right, really, to be above Congress and tell Congress they're not part of continuity of government. No, that's high treason. And we could play congressmen right now saying that FEMA tells Congress they have no authority. And I played those clips on my show earlier today, the different congressmen saying it and the PDD 51. Now, he then expands on this, yes, to help us. See, FEMA does have camps, but they're just to help us.
And I've got to quickly collapse everything into this 9-minute segment. And the next point he's going to make is that, yeah, they have these powers, but it takes literally millions of things to happen and go through before they can use them. Millions?
No, under PDD 51 and
under
the executive orders, Congress is out of the loop now, and it came out in government documents in the 80s and again last year.
Rex 84.
Well, wait, I forgot to cover on my show. All the White House memos got released where they said the president will be a dictator, will arrest the media.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that we got blood coming out our eyes, smoke coming out our ears, because we're not effeminately prancing around like Glenn Beck. Look at him.
Yeah, and
look
meanwhile,
at what he's thinking about right there.
Meanwhile, during the
I'm sorry, folks, but this guy's a real piece of crap. All right, listen, let's just go back to us. Go back to him. I should be more professional.
They actually could be. But there's like
rewind it.
Steps
rewind it. Yeah, I want you to hear this. Now, they do have some camps, but it's to help you.
Yeah,
there's no camps, but they do have camps to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're just secretly training the preachers to tell their flocks to turn their guns in and go into FEMA camps, and we just exposed that a year and a half before it came out.
And we've got another preacher coming up. I want to let people know that.
Don't leak that out.
Yeah, all right.
But the issue is that we've told the truth. The people are listening now. So the best the New Order can do is trot out popular mechanics, known PSYOP front, known government operation, back to William Randolph Hearst. And literally
waning sales. I mean, this is literally what they're going to have to do as a profession eventually, because they're not selling any magazines.
No, they're just going to work for the government and tell us the sky isn't blue. Now, let's go back to the two gentlemen, if you can call them that.
There are things that, yes, FEMA has a right to have camps, and they could do things to help people. And if you wanted to go down the crazy road of, but they could be turned into, they actually could be. But there's like a million other steps that have to happen.
That's correct. And what we did was we looked into these claims. You can't go and visit every one of the 600 sites that some of these conspiracy theorists claim. So we started looking at the ones that are most popular on the internet.
Okay, and let's show the video. First, show me the video that is on the internet. This is one of the so-called concentration camps, or this one's actually, go ahead, show it, I guess a death camp. Do we have it? Okay, we don't have it yet.
Oh, it's my show.
I can't keep going because this is kind of built around the video. That was the reason why we waited. There it is.
This small building is the only way into a particular fenced area. Inside this building, we see more of the motion-activated detectors, electronic turnstiles.
Okay, there's no sound. How come I'm hearing the sound here, Frank? Okay, this is something where they're showing a so-called concentration camp. These are turnstiles. This is in a secure behind the fence. I don't know how they got this video when it was behind the fence, but they went in and got this video.
That's enough. We're going to come back and play the rest of it. I can't handle it. Again,
they're here to help,
Bermas, how did I predict out of the hundreds of videos it would be this one?
I don't know.
Listen, there are YouTube videos where the listeners did what I told them, and they go to the listed 20-something camps in here. And, I mean, there's guard towers. They're in the bushes, barbed wire facing in, helicopters flying around, dogs barking. And it's admitted they've built these, and it's admitted they've got prisoners in them right now. Federal and state prisoners to get everybody trained for this. Again, we have more people in prison than any other country in the world. They are getting rid of our rights every day. And all of this is happening. And Glenn Beck, you know what's going to happen? Them trying to discredit this is going to make folks look into it now. That's the great part, is they try to discredit us and try to shut us down with these straw man things. All it does is make more people investigate for themselves, and they find out it's worse than we're saying. Jason Bermas, take us out.
It's the InfoWarrior, folks. We'll be back with Alex Jones and this Glenn Beck hit piece after this.
Don't nobody know.
Glenn Beck doesn't like this. If he hears this music, he like melts like the witch in Wizard of Oz.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay. I can't tell. I get faded on this. I'm sorry, Jones.
Oh, it's okay. I'm melting, Glenn Beck. Okay, no, seriously. I've been trying to make jokes out of it because it's so depressing to see somebody as evil as Beck. You rarely see a lower circle of hell golem-like creature out in broad daylight. Literally, you will rarely see someone this wicked. Okay, and folks know I've reserved this only for Beck. I mean, this guy is the demon creature. Let's go back to him and one of his fellow golems, Meggs, who refuses to debate me. I called him on one show and called him a liar and brought up all his lies. He wouldn't comment on it.
Yeah, no, I had the opportunity to debate him on The View, and they canceled. They wouldn't do it. You know, I mean, come on. And I was supposed to be on the Glenn
Beck
Beck program.
Because he's got to be on with another little oily, chicken-necked frat boy.
The day I beat up on him and David Dunbar on Democracy Now!, I was booked for Glenn Beck later that afternoon. It was the 5th anniversary of 9/11. I literally got a call a half an hour before we were supposed to show up. No need for you guys to show up. We can't do it. And then Glenn Beck used his little propaganda tools. Instead of thousands of us, there were hundreds of conspiracy theorists. And Meg's got 5 minutes unchallenged by anybody to spew his propaganda with that bad.
All right, well, let's go back to the two creatures. Here we go.
For it, right? And what did you find?
Well, it's not very hard to find. Like so many of these things, the truth is actually fairly evident. This is an Amtrak repair facility in Beech Grove, Indiana. The woman who made this video initially claims that it's some kind of American Auschwitz, and they've outfitted buildings with gas, and they've got these strange turnstiles. In fact, it is a repair facility. We set a crew there the other day, and we got.
Is this your video?
Yes. So initially, they had some old buildings that were boarded up that have since been knocked down. But we also went inside the other buildings, and sure enough, what did we find? They're repairing trains in there.
Well, trains, I believe Auschwitz had trains. I'm just saying, Jim.
Well, once you go down that road, you can't really, if somebody's wants to be convinced of that, you can't really debunk that.
Do we have the video with audio? Because if we don't, I don't really care. The video with the audio about the boarded up buildings with the gas chambers. Do you have that?
In yet another fenced area, we see a large warehouse building at the end, with the electronic turnstiles in front of it.
Okay. That, they were putting gas heaters of some sort in there.
Right, and what we found out is, first of all, one of those buildings has been knocked down. The other ones were upgraded. Their heating system was obsolete, and more than 15 years ago, they upgraded them to gas heat so they could work on the trains.
This is these videos, they're not new. Everybody's saying, oh, this is an Obama thing. I thought this was a Bush thing because of Halliburton and everything else, but that's...
See how they try to confuse it like it should change each administration? Oh, was it Bush or is it Obama? Oh, you're wrong. No, it's the shadow government National Security Council that the Washington Post admits is running Congress, running everything. I mean, this is openly, and then you've got General James Jones in the CFR newspaper saying we're setting up global governance and I take all my orders from Dr. Henry Kissinger. And we're setting up global government. I mean, hundreds of articles last week saying world government, global currency, but we were kooks and wrong about that. So what they'll do is they'll go find some guy under a bridge who's saying the aliens run the Federal Reserve. They'll cut to him. That's how a straw man works. Instead of us covering their own documents and go, see, this toothless man under a bridge is wrong. Aliens from the planet Pop-Tart do not run the Federal Reserve. That's how a straw man works. Now,
or they'll just say, Kissinger doesn't run anything. He hasn't been part of any administration in 20 plus years. And then you say, well, that's not exactly true. They wanted him to head the 9/11 Commission. It came out that he was actually advising. Well, yeah, he was advising the Bush administration on the Iraq War and on intelligence. We know that he just went to Russia on behalf of the United States with George Shultz to talk to the Russian president.
But I was just digressing on that point. They're saying in the CFR.
Yeah.
It's a real group, CFR.org. They brag. We're setting up global government.
We printed the paper from May 2008 where they outlined exactly what just happened last week.
I know. So none of that exists either. So what does Beck do? He goes out and gets straw men, and he said last time Meggs was on, he said, we're going to debunk all of this. Mm-hmm. They're going to say there's no mass graves, even though we have the government documents and mainstream news saying they're building graves for flu pandemic. They'll say there's none of this, none of that. Get ready for it. But the issue here is something I didn't get to in my FEMA camp expose today that was in the stack, was that here in Austin, and it's in my film Police to the Takeover, they took old 747 hangars and they put bolts and chains in the floor and admitted it's for citizens during emergencies.
Pier 57 in New York City during the 2004.
Pier 57 in New York.